The rain poured in relentless sheets as Daniel, a single father of 28-year-old Emma, drove home after a long day at work. The city streets were slick and reflective, mirroring the dim streetlights above. His old sedan struggled against the flood of water pooling on the asphalt, but Daniel's focus was solely on getting home safely to his daughter. Life had been a relentless balancing act since his wife's passing 5 years ago. Every day was a careful orchestration of work, school runs, and bedtime stories. But tonight, destiny had a detour in mind. As Daniel slowed at a deserted intersection, he noticed a figure struggling near the side of the road. A young woman, soaked to the bone, was clearly in distress. Her expensive-looking handbag clutched tightly to her chest and her designer heels sinking into the wet pavement. She looked out of place amidst the chaos of the storm. Without thinking twice, Daniel pulled over. "Are you okay?" he called, stepping out into the downpour. The woman looked up, her long auburn hair plastered to her face, eyes wide and shimmering with desperation. "My car broke down. I don't know what to do," she admitted, her voice trembling. Daniel's instinct kicked in. "I can give you a lift to the nearest gas station or garage," he offered. She hesitated but nodded, her trust fragile but apparent. As she climbed into the passenger seat, Daniel couldn't help but notice her presence had a certain gravity, an elegance that seemed almost unreal against the backdrop of the storm. The ride was mostly silent, punctuated by the rhythmic sound of rain against the car roof. Finally, they arrived at a small, 24-hour garage tucked away from the main road. Daniel parked and helped her out. "I'll wait here until you're sure everything is okay," he said. She thanked him with a soft, almost musical voice. Moments later, a sleek black car pulled into the garage. The driver jumped out and opened the door for her. She turned to Daniel with a warm, grateful smile. "Thank you, truly. I don't even know your name." "Daniel," he replied, slightly embarrassed by the sudden intimacy of the encounter. "Lila," she said. "I hope I can repay your kindness someday." Daniel smiled and waved as she drove off, the rain masking the fleeting spark of something unexplainable between them. Little did he know that this brief encounter would change the trajectory of his life in ways he could never anticipate. The next morning, Daniel's routine resumed, but the memory of Lila lingered in the corners of his mind. Later that day, he received a call from an unfamiliar number. Curiosity piqued, he answered. "Mr. Daniel Harper?" a composed, professional voice asked. "This is Lila Stanton. I was hoping to meet you again. I'd like to invite you to a charity gala tonight as my guest." He blinked in disbelief. I don't think it's important," she interrupted gently. "I insist." By evening, Daniel found himself stepping into a world far removed from the modest life he had grown accustomed to. The gala was grand, adorned with chandeliers, velvet drapes, and the soft glow of candlelight. Guests in designer gowns and tailored suits floated across the ballroom, their laughter mingling with the soft strains of a live orchestra. Lila approached him, radiant in a sapphire gown that shimmered under the lights. "I'm glad you came," she said sincerely. They talked for hours, sharing stories, dreams, and fears. Daniel discovered that Lila wasn't just a wealthy socialite, she was a visionary philanthropist, using her resources to support education and health initiatives for children. Their connection deepened with every shared laugh, every glance that lingered just a second too long. A week later, Daniel received an unexpected email. Lila was spearheading a new foundation for underprivileged children, and she wanted him to join as a mentor. Hesitant but inspired, Daniel accepted. He found himself working alongside people he had once only read about, contributing to something far bigger than he could have imagined. Over the next few months, Daniel and Lila's partnership flourished. Together, they organized workshops, fundraisers, and community programs. Lila encouraged him to pursue his passion for writing, something he had abandoned years ago, juggling life and work. With her support, Daniel began penning heartfelt stories about resilience, hope, and the little victories that define life. One crisp evening, as the sun dipped below the horizon, casting golden rays over the city. Daniel and Lila sat on a quiet terrace overlooking the skyline. Emma played nearby, laughter ringing out like a melody in the twilight. "Do you ever think about that night?" Lila asked, turning to him with a soft smile. Daniel nodded. "How a stranger in the rain changed everything for us, for me." She reached for his hand. "I wasn't just a stranger. I was meant to find you, Daniel. I think fate brought us together." In that moment, Daniel realized she was right. That one act of kindness, driven by instinct and compassion, had not only helped a woman in need but had also set in motion a chain of events that reshaped his destiny. He had found love, purpose, and a renewed sense of hope, not through careful planning or chance, but through the simple act of helping another human being. Years later, as Daniel's books became bestsellers and the foundation they built together flourished, he often told Emma the story of the rainy night when he met Lila. "Sometimes," he would say, "helping someone else is the very thing that leads you to your own destiny." And every time he saw Lila smile, he knew that fate had indeed worked in mysterious and miraculous ways. In the end, a single moment on a stormy night had altered the course of their lives forever. Daniel had learned that kindness was not just a fleeting gesture, it was a bridge to destiny, love, and a future brighter than he had ever imagined. And it all began with opening a door, both literally and metaphorically, for someone in need.